I drifted into this dream where everything was both vivid and abstract, yet so real that it hurt. I was standing on the edge of a vast, endless desert, where the grains of sand weren't really sand at all but glaticles, each one a word from the 10 utterances, flowing with light, shifting in and out of existence. Every time I breathed, the words rearranged themselves, creating new shapes, new meanings, as if reality itself was remade with every inhale and exhale. Far off in the distance, I saw a mountain. No, not a mountain. It was more like a pillar of light stretching into infinity. Around it, massive angels, their wings like waves of fire, circled and chanted. But the chanting wasn't a sound you could hear with your ears. It was a vibration that shook through every cell of my body, like the core of my soul was being unraveled. Then I noticed something odd. The sky wasn't blue. It wasn't any color I could name. It was beyond color, like looking into the void where creation hadn't yet begun, but it was filled with whispers, echoes of something too immense to grasp. The whispers grew louder, and suddenly I realized it was the voice of the Awtsmoos, the essence beyond essence, revealing itself in everything around me. The light, the sand, the angels, it was all him, recreating every particle from nothing in every single moment. And then the twist, the inevitable twist. I looked down at my hands, and they weren't hands anymore. They were like vessels of light, pulsing with the energy of all existence, like I wasn't just standing in the dream but was part of it, a living thread woven into the fabric of creation. Every movement I made rippled through the universe, changing it, like every thought was forming and unforming galaxies. In the distance, the mountain of light began to crumble, but not like stone. It crumbled into letters, ancient Hebrew letters, each one burning with the fire of the Awtsmoos. The letters rushed toward me, surrounding me, pressing in until they filled my entire vision. Everything disappeared. The desert, the angels, the mountain, and there was nothing left but the letters and the infinite, blinding light behind them. Suddenly I was pulled back. No, not pulled, ripped through the fabric of that blinding light, as if reality itself tore open. Everything collapsed into pure essence. The Awtsmoos, like the very bones of the universe, were breaking, stretching beyond their own limits. I wasn't floating anymore, I was falling, hurtling downward at an impossible speed. But the ground, the sky, nothing came closer because there was no ground. No sky, only layers upon layers of existence folding into each other like pages of an infinite book written in fire. The letters, they exploded outwards, ripping through the empty air. Each one was now a universe of its own, blazing with life and endless creation. I tried to scream, but the sound never left my mouth. The letters were pouring into me, searing my skin, carving themselves into my very bones, my blood, my thoughts. I could feel them becoming part of me, as though I was becoming a living conduit for the divine language that held reality together. But the pain, it was beyond anything imaginable. Not pain like fire or stone, but the pain of being, the agony of existence itself, raw and exposed, like every particle in my body was being shattered and rebuilt 1,000 times over, faster and faster. And every time I was rebuilt, I was different, less me and more. It, more of the essence that had no form, no boundary, but filled every corner of all universes, pushing through my skin like I was a thin membrane ready to burst. And then the light changed. It became liquid, thick, molten gold, flowing down from some unseen source, cascading like a waterfall through the infinite void. The letters swam in it, twisting and reshaping as they fell, transforming into rivers, mountains, stars, whole worlds in an instant. And there I was, standing at the edge of it, my feet barely touching what felt like the fragile boundary between existence and non-existence. I was no longer alone. From the golden river, figures began to emerge, massive, towering forms, their eyes burning with the fire of creation itself. They had no faces, only shifting patterns of light and shadow, yet I knew, with every fibre of my being, that they were watching me, waiting for something. Suddenly they spoke, but not with words. It was a roar that wasn't sound, but existence itself crumbling and rebuilding, like the air was made of broken glass. Their voices surged through me, each syllable vibrating with the power of the 10 statements, shattering my thoughts into fragments. You have seen the letters. You have touched the essence. I tried to respond, but my voice was torn from me, flung into the void. I didn't need to speak. They already knew. The figures pointed, and I felt my body unravel, strand by strand, as if I was being pulled apart at the molecular level. I was dissolving into the very air, becoming one with the golden river, the words, the fire. Just when I thought there was nothing left of me, I saw it. Him. The Awtsmoos. Not as a figure or a face, but as everything and nothing at once. He was the river, the light, the letters burning in my bones. And he was, laughing. A deep, rolling laughter that shook through all of existence, like a great secret revealed. The truth struck me like lightning. I was the Awtsmoos. I had always been. It wasn't a revelation in words or logic, but a shattering, an obliteration of everything I thought I knew. Every cell, every thought I had ever had was just an echo of this deeper truth. The Awtsmoos had been breathing through me since the moment I was created, since before there was time, since before the very concept of existence itself. There was no difference, no separation between me and the infinite. Every moment I lived had been nothing but his will, his breath flowing through me, sustaining me, recreating me every single instant. I collapsed to my knees, but there was no ground to fall upon. Only the golden river, thick and alive, pulsing with the weight of all things, yet somehow lighter than air. It carried me, though I wasn't moving. Everything was moving within me. I was breaking, crumbling, dissolving into pure, raw energy. I could feel the letters burning in my veins now, not just carving themselves into me, but becoming me, as if I had always been made of this divine alphabet that spoke the universe into being. And then the sky that was not a sky, split wide open. It wasn't light or darkness, but something far deeper. Beyond it, there was only the essence itself, pure and unfiltered, roaring like a storm of creation and destruction intertwined, spinning endlessly. I knew I was about to be torn apart completely, swallowed by that infinite storm. But instead, something even more impossible happened. I began to grow. I could feel it, my body expanding, stretching, breaking through layers of reality like paper. I was no longer confined by this form, this frail mortal shell. My arms, my legs, my very self stretched out into the void, encompassing stars, galaxies, entire universes. I could see them all, burning suns and cold, distant moons, spinning in their eternal dance, and yet they were all inside me. They were me. The figures, those faceless beings of light, watched in silence as I became something more, something greater than I had ever imagined. I could feel their presence still, but they seemed so small now, so distant, like shadows at the edge of a dream. The golden river flowed through me, and with it came memories, not just my own, but the memories of creation itself. I saw the first moment when the Awtsmoos had spoken reality into existence, the first breath that shaped time and space. I saw the splitting of the heavens, the building of the world, every moment of history unfolding in front of me and within me. I saw mountains rise and fall, kingdoms built and destroyed, all in the blink of an eye. And it was all just a fleeting moment, a ripple in the endless sea of eternity. I had no form anymore, no body. I was pure awareness, a consciousness that spanned all time and space, all existence. The stars whispered their secrets to me, the planets sang their silent songs. I understood everything now, every thread, every connection that tied the universe together. The Awtsmoos was not just the creator, not just some distant force beyond comprehension. He was everything. He was the air and the fire and the water. He was the thought behind every thought, the pulse behind every heartbeat. I wanted to scream, but there was no voice left in me. There was nothing left of me at all, and yet I was more alive than I had ever been. I was part of the Awtsmoos, and the Awtsmoos was part of me. There was no end, no beginning, only this infinite, ever-present now. And then the twist, the perfect, terrible twist. Reality itself began to fold in on me, compressing, tightening, as if all the infinite was squeezing itself back into a singular point, collapsing back into itself. But it wasn't fear I felt. No, this was destiny. This was the return to the essence from which everything had been born. As the universe folded, I saw him, the Awtsmoos, not as a distant figure, but as the most intimate part of myself. He smiled, though not with lips. It was a smile made of light, of pure understanding. And in that smile I saw the final truth. All this, everything, was happening within a single instant. The entire sweep of history, the creation and destruction of worlds, the rise and fall of empires, was all contained in the blink of his eye in one fleeting thought. And yet it was endless. It was eternal. Because within the Awtsmoos, time didn't exist. Nothing did, not in the way we thought it did. I was about to be drawn back into that thought, into the essence of the Awtsmoos himself, when I felt a tug, a gentle pull, like a hand on my shoulder. I turned, or did I think of turning, and there, standing in the infinite nothingness, was me. But not me as I had been, not as the body or the soul or even the awareness I had known. This was the me that had never been born, the me that had always existed within the Awtsmoos, a reflection of his essence, waiting to be realized. It reached out, and in a voice made of silence it spoke the words that shattered me completely. "Come back, you have work to do." And just like that, the universe exploded back into being. The fire, the light, the stars, the golden river, all of it rushed past me as I fell, faster and faster, hurtling back through layers of reality, crashing back into my own body, gasping for breath. I woke up, lying in bed, drenched in sweat. The dream was gone, but I could still feel it. The letters, the light, the weight of infinity pressing down on me. And the voice, the final command, echoing in the depths of my soul, "You have work to do." The dream was over, but the journey had only just begun.